live here. And then when it goes live, I'll mute it and we'll get started. Live here. Here we go. There it is. All right. That's how that works. I'm getting used to it. When I turn YouTube on, if I don't mute it right away, I end up having a double voice. So welcome everyone to our Friday morning group, our live streaming. And I am your host, Bill Free, and Lisa is your other host right here. Hello. You want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here, and I love this format of the Zoom calls that I get to see everybody. And I also am just figuring out the Zoom, so I know how to use the chat board. So if you guys want to chat, I see all your happy little faces here, and I see more people coming in the room. And so today, Karen Tyndall and Mira Feldman are going to be our guest teachers. And I don't know, Bill, if you're going to do some announcements or if you want me to do a few.
Yeah, I have some announcements.
Okay.
Yeah. So on the announcements, I just want to mention that if, we just started our weekly newsletter, which cuts way down on the emails coming into your email box. So thank you, Treese, who I see is online with us, for designing our newsletter template that allows us to communicate more in a one kind of an email format, so that you can see everything that's going on this week, or at least a lot of the things that are going on this week for the Teachers of God Foundation. And if you're not familiar with it, I'll just share it with you real quick. This is a copy of our new email that goes out. It's the Teachers of God Foundation weekly updates, and it gives you an update, the current blog, and then for the presenter series, the presenter that is current this week or this month. And this one is Jackie Laura Jones, and she did a Q&A yesterday that was quite good, that we all enjoyed. We do the Q&A with the presenter at the end of the month, every month, and we've started doing our Saturday get-togethers at 11 a.m. on Saturdays. If you're in the transformation room, that's available to you on Saturdays. And then we have our Living in Purpose conference calls that many of you enjoy, and Mira and Karen are both members of that, and they've been invited to, actually they've stepped up to be part of the open mic. We're just so blessed to have this venue so that we can share with all of you what we know to be other teachers of God who have a voice, a really a present voice that we think everyone else should be able to hear. So that's what this is. It's this Open Mic Friday. And then the 40-day program for transformation. If you know anyone that hasn't done it, or if you want to do it as a group, we have another group launch that's October the 1st. And they're so energized. We're expecting about 1,000 people to be in this 40-day group launch. And then one more thing, we have the ACIM conference in Los Angeles. We are out of tickets for the $479. The price now is $519, and I think that lasts for about another 6 weeks. And then we have gift opportunities for you all if you go to teachersofgod.org. And right now it's a mindfulness meditation that I did, and we're putting other teachers' gifts that will be available in the gift opportunities. And then we've just recently started another thing that, thank you, Treese, she's put together an events calendar for us that's on our website. And just want to mention to everyone, if you're in the transformation room, and you're thinking about canceling, please don't do that, because you will be very disappointed. The price is going up, and we're adding a lot to the transformation room. You'll wish that you had stayed in at the lower price, because there's a lot of stuff that's getting ready to happen over there. So I just want to mention all of that, and I look forward to hearing our two guest teachers this morning, Myra and Karen. And I noticed that Lisa has her hand up, and we'll see what she has to add.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bill. I love the new format for the Teachers of God mailing list. And I also just wanted to say a little bit about the 40-day, because it's going to launch on Tuesday. And I just sent an email out to my personal email list at lisanatoli.com. I just wanted to talk briefly about it, because this really is what A Course in Miracles is about. And so each and every one of us is sitting on an ability more valuable than gold or money. All of you. You all have the light within you, and you all have the ability to connect. And what happens in life is that we have been living disconnected from the self that we are for so long that we don't even know how to connect. And when we do connect, we feel it. You feel the possibilities. You're free from sickness, from pain, from problems. You feel happy and at peace, right? We've all had this experience, but then we lose it, the great slide back. And so I just wrote a long message this morning. I'll probably post it on my website if you're not on my mailing list. But I wrote it because I have two programs. There's the 40-day program. It's totally free. It's always been free. Bill and I got very clear guidance that it would be a free program. Who's taken the 40-day in here? Right? It's like a real program. Like, some people would charge $1,000 for that program. It's practices, it's videos, and we were going to charge for it. Thank you, guys. And this is what the practice of A Course in Miracles is learning to listen to the guidance. And the guidance that we got was to give it for free. And so it's been offered. I updated it a couple of years ago, and that's the current one, because I wanted to make it more uncompromising. And what we're doing on October 1st, which is Tuesday, is there's what's called a group launch, where you do it with a whole group. There's a way that you can post comments to each other in the group. There's support for you, there's encouragement. And it's a way for you to experience your connection with yourself, with God, with others, and to stay plugged in. So that's the first thing. And I did just want to mention that I also have another program called The Healing Cure. And that's an 8-week online training. And that one costs money. And the price is going up next Saturday. So I've kept it at this one price for 10 months. And that one's really for anybody who's done the 40-day and who's really ready for true healing, to take your place as a healer in this world, as a creator. So I just wanted to mention those two things, and the connection's available to you right now. It really is like plugging in a light. It's like if you don't plug that light in, it's just a piece of furniture in a room that starts collecting dust, right? And that's what happens with us. The cord's sitting on the floor. You're like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Why all these problems? Why all this darkness? It's like, gotta plug in. So I just wanted to invite you for that. I'm doing a live webinar to kick off the 40-day program on October 1st. So that's all at the Teachers of God website. And just really, there's no need to suffer.
Thank you. Thank you for adding that. That's very helpful and encouraging. And I love the new 40-day program. Many people have done it several times. It's sort of a primer for the course, and it's more than a primer for the course, because I feel that, and I've noticed that people are actually awakening from the 40-day course. And it has a unique Lisa Natoli style of presenting the course in easy to understand application, so that people that have never heard of the course, non-religious, atheists, doesn't matter, they can get a running start on knowing their divinity and releasing themselves, as you say, from suffering. And so thank you for continuing to keep that available and alive and being available. You know, Lisa's a total volunteer to step up and support the 40-day program. Not only did she do it for free and on her own free time, she continues to make herself available to support people in their awakening and transformation. And I'm grateful for she's just, as you all know, Lisa Natoli is all 1000% in, because she wants to support people to have the full experience of awakening. And she's learned, experienced her own awakening and her own release from the prison that she made, and she wants others to have it too. And that's my same heart. I want everybody to have this, because I know what a release it is and how freeing it is, where we can live in time and space. We can live in this experience that used to think it was just a body, and we can be free and have a different experience in time and space.
Yeah.
And also know the self, to know that when this gets laid down, and it will, that it's not over, that this is just a temporary host, a temporary facility that the mind of God that I am uses, that experiences this experience right now.
Yeah.
So
I also just wanted to say, like I did last time on the call, I'm cruising through the Zoom button here. It's so exciting to be online. However, I see a lot of you don't have your videos on. So Bill's right. I'm 1000% in. So I would like to know, just because it's always this moment where the transformation happens. I'd love for those of you who feel comfortable, to turn your videos on, no matter if you're unshowered or whatever, in your robe, no one cares.
maybe have your clothes on.
Yeah, right. No, please have your clothes on. But who's all in? I see the videos. Who's in?
I'm in.
Let's a party time. Like, we're all in,
Yay! I'm
right?
all in for love.
And also, just cruise through the names. There's a little arrow button there, and you can
And get to know everybody.
get to know everybody here.
Yeah, this is our community, and this is why we're keeping the open mic. And this is a growing community. You're going to see this experience grow. And this is what it's about. It's about, we're crossing over the pond over into Europe and Australia, all around the United States and South Africa. And this is a big community that is available for us. And thank you for mentioning that, Lisa, because this is what this is all about. This is a joining and a gathering.
And one final shout out, and then I'll be quiet and we'll listen to our teachers. I want to say thank you to Lynn Johnson. I see you in the house, and David Fishman.
Yes.
For all of your support
Yes.
of taking these teachings out. And I'm just so grateful for just all of that this is a community of gathering. I'm so happy you guys are putting your videos on. Anyways,
Yeah.
I'll hand it back to you, and then we'll open it up for our teachers.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you, Lynn and David Fishman, Lynn Johnson, David Fishman, for sharing this on ACIM Gather live podcast. And without further ado, I want to invite our guest teachers to share with us what is on your heart, what's on your, what you would like to share with our friends today. And for those of you that would like that have a question, please hold your questions until both guest teachers have a chance to share, and then we'll invite you to share if you have something to share or a question that you have for one of our guest teachers. So I'm going to first invite Myra. Would you like to come up first? Okay, I'm gonna, there you are. So Myra, thank you for being our first guest teacher this morning. And where do you hail from, Myra?
I'm in Holland.
Holland. All right. Right
In a
across
small
the
city.
pond.
A small city called Almelo, very close to the German border on the east side of Holland. Yeah.
Okay. And so so Myra, you did a translation of the 40-day in
Yes.
Dutch. Is that correct?
I
Or
love
is
the
it
40
German?
days. I love Lisa and Bill. I love Teachers Foundation. Yes.
You translated
To my
it?
surprise, so many people in Holland can speak English so well, but for some reason, course students don't. So I translated all 43 videos as best as I could into Dutch. And at one point I did find 15 Dutch people that wanted to take the 40-day program. And we did it in a Zoom room, only it wasn't 40 days. We could only do 2 a week. So it was 20 weeks instead of 40 days. But it was very good because they had then more time to do their lessons. And I know it's coming again on October 1st. So I've promoted it again. I've put it all over the place. And I do the Dutch pages on Facebook. So I'm promoting it. And I hope that some more people come and join.
Nice, nice. Well, I don't know if you know this, Myra, but the 40-day program is it's weeks away from being on a phone app on an iPhone.
Yeah.
Yes, we're weeks away from that, and we're planning on. I want to wait and see the reception of the 40-day app on the iPhone, but we're planning on. I want to put it on a Android also if it has a big reception and it gets shared a lot. It's just another way of expressing that. And then I have another surprise, but I'm going to hold on that surprise because I don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet. But I just want to thank you for being such a devoted teacher of the content of A Course in Miracles. And of course, the 40-day, as you know, is A Course in Miracles in a different, it's sort of paraphrased, Lisa Natoli style, and people get it when they go through the 40-day program. I would say it cuts years off of your learning curve. Yeah.
Yes.
So, Myra, what is your topic today? And I don't remember if it was it from one of the presenter series weeks with Jackie?
No, it's
Laura,
my own little
of
saying.
your own?
It's there's a child inside of me that always likes to rhyme and dance and sing and to make a good time of the course.
Good.
And it's keep it clear, love or fear.
Good, good. I like that. Well, I'm gonna turn my mic off for a few minutes and let you have the mic. The mic is all yours.
Okay. The Friday group always starts with, I stand in the presence. And so now I say, I sit in the presence.
Nice.
I have been following this Friday group for at least 3 years now on YouTube. And so I feel like I really know all of you already, watching YouTube every week. So it's amazing that this is all possible. Lisa was just talking about certain abilities that we have as the light of the world. And I was thinking also, I think it's chapter 6 in the Purple Book, that Jesus also talks about how the Holy Spirit uses all of our abilities. And so another ability is how we use computers. And that we're all able to join like this in a Zoom room. I just love it. That's wonderful. Okay. I'm just going to share the tips and the tools that have helped me in my journey all these years. So keep it clear, love or fear. Everything that I'm going to mention today is all a little tip or a tool that will get us back to that same point of choosing, to that same point of awareness, to that same point of forgiveness, or whatever, however you call it. I love keep it clear whenever I'm anywhere and I feel confused or there's some form of conflict, then I know, well, it's not clear at this moment. So I remind myself by saying, keep it clear, love or fear. And then I remind myself, choose. It's all about choosing again, choosing love or fear. And that little saying, that really helps me a lot. Okay, keep it clear, love or fear. What also helped me a lot, there's a Dutch teacher. He's a man who helps to translate the course into Dutch, Koos Janssen. And he started one of his workshops once upon a time with, let's talk about the chair. You are not sitting on the chair. You, all-encompassing love, are at home in God. You are spirit. You are eternal. You are not sitting on the chair. A body is sitting on the chair, and you are not the body. This helped me very much with all kinds of things. A headache. All of a sudden, there's a headache. And then there's the temptation to identify with the headache, to identify with the body. But then I could say to myself, hey, keep it clear. I am not on this chair. I am not the headache. I am not the thought of pain. And that allowed me then to step back and to be able to look at the thoughts and not identify with them. It's not no denial, it's the looking, and then being aware of it, forgiving it, giving it to the light, however you do it. So that helped me a lot, not sitting on the chair. And then I mentioned looking. Oh wait, before I go to that about the body, in case there's anybody who makes the same mistake that I made for years and years and years, I will just say it, maybe it's unnecessary, but I always loved the lesson, I am not a body, I am free, I am still as God created me. Wonderful lesson. But for years and years and years, I thought Jesus was just talking about the flesh and bones. Another mistake. Okay. When I finally learned that was the whole package, when I finally understood it, I think it's in chapter 31, self-concept versus concept. I must have read that about 10 times, but the ego was just reading and reading and saying, we're not going to understand any of this. We're just going to read words. We will not understand this. So nothing was being clear until I was saying, now keep it clear, love or fear. What's going on here? What's going on here? Okay, no, I am not a body. I am not the personality that is attached. It says I am muted. Do you hear me? You hear me? Oh, my computer tells me that I'm muted. Okay, I'm not muted. I am not the personality connected to this body, and I am not the name that is connected to this body. The name is a wonderful way to communicate here, so that if you call the name Mira, I will answer. Okay. So I am not a body, and I am not sitting on the chair. A body is sitting on the chair. But about that looking, I had a lot of problems with understanding looking. So I would ask the Holy Spirit, help me, please, because what am I looking at? I would like to look at something. You tell me to look at something and then it's not there, but I don't understand. And for many times, I just did not understand. And then there was one girlfriend, Kate, and one time she said to me, think of the thoughts as being offered to you. Ah, I said, aha, an offering. So then this child in me was making all these fantasies, like the ego is all dressed up like a waiter. And he has this big tray, and he's going around to everybody in the restaurant, drinking coffee and eating, and offering everybody sickness, attack thoughts, jealousy, misery, and then coming over to me, and then I could look. I could look at the tray. And at that moment, I could see these thoughts are outside of me. These are not my thoughts. Finally, so many of those first lessons that are so beautiful really started to make sense. And really, when Jesus said, these are not my thoughts, they are not my thoughts, they're being offered to me from an outside force called the ego. And now I can say to the ego, no, thank you. And many times the ego is so fast. Okay, I got caught into the ego trap, but then it's still okay because that's why we're here, to learn and to fix up all the blocks. Well, the Holy Spirit does that. We bring all the darkness to the light. But then I could take my tray now. I could take my tray to the Holy Spirit and say, here's my darkness now. I'm bringing it to you. Let's look at it together. Because then I had something to look at. I'm being so human. Okay, I needed something to look at. So I was looking. And then the miracle happened that everything that was written upon the tray, I looked through the Holy Spirit and it was gone. The tray was empty. And it was a very beautiful and a very peaceful feeling. And then I would, my little rhyme, keep it clear, love or fear. Then I could say, keep it clear. I am not here. I am not here. And there's another little rhyme that I always like to say that I am as God created me. All the rest is fantasy. And that's one that I still use every day. That helps to remind me that I am the dreamer of the dream. And I am not the dream figure. You know, all these little things come together. Everything is linked together, just like in the whole course, everything is holistic together. It is, and all these tips also. So everything is fantasy that helps me remember that I am not here. I am not here. Jesus has a beautiful line. How could you find joy in a joyless place? Only by recognizing you are not here. And you never were. We are dreaming the dream figures. Okay. So that was from Kos and that was from Kate. And then I think that Ken Wapnick, he came along with a very short little help tool, which I loved over the years. Whenever something was going on in this head, all kinds of conversations and blah, blah, blah. And all I needed to say was, oops. Oops. So thank you, Ken Wapnick, because that word, oops, is just such a lovely, funny little word that right away the Son of God remembers to laugh. Oops, I did it again. Okay, there was a conversation that has nothing to do with me. Okay. But if it gets any worse and I start listening, or I'm reading something on Facebook and it's really getting serious here, I was watching a video from Jean-Marc Strout and he did this and I said, I have to do that. Just laugh. I was getting so serious, so I sit here and I put on my clown's nose and I say, thank you, Jean-Marc, and thank you, Ken, and thank you, everyone, for what you've given me, because it makes the journey light. The book is my life. My life is the book. This is my classroom. I want to, that's why it doesn't have to be difficult at all. We can keep on laughing. And so I needed some things that would remind me to laugh, and they did. And they did. And another one, I don't know how much time I have. Can I go on another few minutes? Okay. From Robert Perry. Robert Perry has a little question that he asks himself. 3 little words to help remind him to get back to his choosing point. And so he tells this story that he's in the supermarket buying apples and he's putting all these apples into a brown paper bag. And on the bottom of the bag breaks. And the apples go rolling all over the supermarket. And he starts getting really upset. And then he asks himself his wonderful question. He says, the question is so ridiculous, you have to laugh immediately. Is God dead? Did I kill God because the apples are rolling on the floor? Ha! So you can use, whenever you get too upset, it's like the Cursus is always telling us that, the Course is telling us, if there's pain, there's no God. If there's God, there's no pain. So pain could also be getting upset about the apple spilling on the floor. So it's craziness to think that you could kill God by spilling apples on the floor. So is God dead? So thank you, Robert Perry, for that one. That was a very good one. And I will end this up with Lisa and Bill. Thank you for so much Lisa, when I first heard your story, 20 years studying the course, not getting what you thought the course would bring you, I said, yes, that's me. You told more stories. I kept saying, yes, that's me. Oh, I could identify with so many of the stories. So thank you for the 40-day program. Thank you for living in purpose. I've done everything 2 or 3 times. I was busy 20. I needed, to put it this way, I needed a kick in the butt. And Lisa, you gave me a very loving and gentle kick in the butt. And I thank you. And there's so much, I can't say it all now. But that was, don't leave your bed. Don't let those feet hit the floor until you've made that connection with your inner guide, whatever you call it, what you do, and that you've set that your guide is guiding the day. It was the rules for decision, actually, and you gave that to me, and I started that about 3 years ago, and it hasn't stopped. I don't need the 6 steps anymore from the rules of decision, but before these feet hit the floor, I'm doing my Lisa act. Always I say, yep, we do our Lisa act, and perfect, wonderful. The relationship with the Holy Spirit, the trust, everything. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with me. And then, Bill, your gesture. Lisa did that in her 40 days, the pause, the gesture. It started out with going with thoughts and sentences, and it was kind of a ritual, this and that. But now it's also become, I think, the shortest way that I know to get back to awareness, because whenever the stories are going and going and going, all I have to do is the gesture. No words, nothing. Silence, just the gesture. Thank you for that. It's worth a million words. Okay, and then I was wondering, am I going to do this or not? But I'm going to do this because I said there's this little child in me and she loves to dance and sing. And okay, it's at least this is on your license plate. I hope you like it. When all else fails, sing. I am the light of the world. I am the light of the world. That is my only function. That is why I am here. Thank you all very much. That's my contribution today.
Myra, thank you with all my heart. I feel such tremendous joy over here. Your expression is so beautiful. Your gratitude is the light that is really the only thing that's needed. And I have absolutely loved what you said about the tray and the waiter. That is, I've never heard it like that, of like things being offered to us. And we could just say, no, thank you. Like the waiter's coming over with things I don't want. I don't need to take them.
Yeah.
So I thank you so much for just the work you've been doing, the way you express yourself, the way you're showing up, your total authenticity, your playfulness, your joyfulness, your gratitude. Thank you.
I'm going to unmute the mic. We can give her a warm gratitude welcome.
Yay.
Great job, great job.
Wonderful.
Great job.
Congrats.
Oh,
Awesome.
great. Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you all. And thank you, Myra. That was awesome. And let me just unmute Lisa again. And Karen, I'm going to, where are you at? Let's see, where are you at? The mic is all yours, Karen. There you go. You ready?
I'm ready. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yay.
yes. Thank you, Karen.
Myra, that was beautiful. That was absolutely beautiful. Just my heart opened up and you brought me into a beautiful heart space here. Thank you. So I've been a Course in Miracles student for 8 years, and I just did it on my own for 3 years. And I also want to say I sit in the presence just before we start. I've been, I did it on my own for 3 years, just listening and listening. And 5 years ago, I moved from my little bunkie of doing clients into my cottage, and I was given guidance to step into letting myself be seen in a little bit bigger way and teach A Course in Miracles, teach what I didn't know. And that's exactly how you do. You teach what you need to know, and small groups. And God put rose-colored glasses over everyone's eyes because I was terrible. But I was standing up there and sharing what I could. So after I was doing the course, probably for about 3 months, I was down at the beach, and I asked for some guidance, and I wanted something so simple that everybody would get this, that everybody would understand what it was that I was saying. And of course, I know everybody is me, so it was for myself. So how could I see the love and the light in everybody else, because everyone was me, and bring it back to me? And when I was down at the beach, I got a message, and the message said, look down at your feet. And so I looked down at my feet, and I was given these 2 gifts. This was number 1, and this was number 2. And it was just on top of each other, exactly like that, when I looked down at my feet. And I was given the message right away, what it was. And so I have used this for 5 years. And does it help me to bring in, this is the truth of who we are. And this is a veil that's covering all our light, and we think it's all separate. But this is the truth. And as we move up the levels of forgiveness, and as we keep looking at it, the veil thins and thins and thins, and we remember more and more and more of our light. So the circle of love, the circle of fear. And which circle do you want to be in? The circle of love or the circle of fear? And it's so simple. It was such a simple tool, and it could go through that ego block, because this here is just all the blocks to love. And if you want to go one step further into a metaphysics, that's what we think we all are. We think we're all separate. So we're all those lights, all that light just around, and we think we're separate from each other. But all it is a veil hiding the truth of who we are, which is love and light. And using this tool has helped me every time I need to remember the truth of who I am. I step back into that circle of love and pause, that beautiful pause, realign with love, and ask to see with the Holy Spirit the truth of who I am, just through this third eye, just love, absolutely love. And that's the truth of who I am. And want to share that it was hard for me to step out into the cottage. It was great resistance. And there was great resistance of me even doing this open mic. But I knew that Spirit was pushing me into stepping out and sharing the truth of who I am. And it all started with saying yes to A Course in Miracles conference. I have never let myself be seen before I said yes to that, other than in my own safety, in my own home. So I stepped out and went to A Course in Miracles conference, and my life changed. Spirit came through so strong, and I was given more and more guidance, and to remember willing to step in, to letting little me go, stepping into the magnificence and the grandeur of who I truly am, which is just pure love and light, and without grandiosity, and knowing that I'm safe doing this. And I think that's the biggest thing, is we all don't feel safe at times But this is a community of love. So how could I not feel safe? And ego really did try to even step in just a second as we started this here whole Zoom. As soon as I heard Lisa talk and I see her magnificence and I see her light and I see how it, like I can see nothing but light with Lisa, and I keep thinking, oh my gosh, why don't we just listen to Lisa? Who wants to listen to me? Like, I'm like, that come in. And I thought, no, I'm back into the circle in love. And my share is good. My share it will help somebody, and so it did almost get me. I'm sitting there, and then Myra's beautiful share, and I had to sit there and, oh, Myra, it was lovely. It is lovely. I was quickly writing down some of your little tips. I'll watch the video again, but I loved what you shared. This is the joy of this Zoom, is we all get little tidbits of what we do. The tray that she gets, the stones that came for me, all of the tips from each other. And this is what this is about. It's about us sharing and coming together and aligning in the truth of who we are, which is just love. It's just love. And without grandiosity, there's no ego here. And knowing that I can step back into that circle of love and pause and realign at any moment is like, that's the joy. And when you hand your day over to God, every single moment that you wake up, you know that it has your back. It has your back. And I knew that this morning when I woke up, and it did trickle in that few seconds. It was just a second when that phone call went off about me thinking what Lisa is so great at speaking, that was just a second, but I immediately went right back into the circle of love and thought, no, I'm going to let my voice be heard. And this week was a difficult week for me, because ego comes in, and it comes in a real subtle way. I'm I'm pretty good about answering the call the first time and stepping into the circle of love. But ego had a way of veiling what it was I was to see, and really was putting up a stink of me stepping forward. And I'm glad that I stepped into the circle of love and stayed there, into the truth of who I am, and that whatever someone gets from anything each of us say, that it's worthy of being heard. And so I really want to also give my gratitude to Lisa and Bill for putting this platform out here for all of the teachers of God. I've been in Living in Purpose for 4 years, and I've never let myself be seen in a video until I said yes to A Course in Miracles conference. I have never let myself be seen outside my home. I have never let myself be seen. And I have a lot to share, like all of us. And I think that that's where sometimes we hold back. And so if any of you are sitting there and you can come forward and share too, because what you have to say is important. It is. You're the love and the light that all of us. And don't let the veil, as you step forward, it thins, because you can stand in your truth and know that you're safe. And safe is the biggest word that I know. That I have a lot of children that come to me as clients, and the biggest word that those children say to me is they don't feel safe. They don't feel safe in this world. And I'm thinking, okay, they're mirrors to me. I didn't feel safe in this world, right? I always look at what their little minds are telling me, because they're just a hologram in front of me. It's not the truth. But they're there to show me something that I need to see for myself. And so a lot of them were coming in and saying the same thing. They didn't feel safe. And I had to really sit there and ask God, well, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe stepping out and speaking my truth. And it wasn't until I said yes to that Course in Miracles, I just really couldn't believe such a transformation happened to me after saying yes to that A Course in Miracles conference. So anyways, I really want to share that with everybody. And I'm in such gratitude to Lisa and Bill, for allowing me this platform to be able to come forward and speak, and making this great for everybody else who wants to come forward and speak and share. It's my heart. It's wide open. My heart is wide open. And I just want to share one more thing about A Course in Miracles conference, because this is a really lovely story. I thought I was going there to see Lisa and Bill because I'd been I'd done the 40-day. I'd been in Living in Purpose for 4 years. And Lisa and Bill didn't even know who I was. Like, I'm in their program, I'm doing all this, but I've never let myself be seen. So I go to A Course in Miracles, and Lisa and Bill don't know who I am. And I thought, oh, I'm so excited about going to see them, because I felt like I knew them, but I'd never let myself be seen to them, so they didn't know me. And so anyways, it wasn't hard finding Lisa, because her light is so bright. Her light is so bright that her light just flowed like outside of herself. So I walk up to her, and I only talk to her for 2 minutes. I don't even get a picture with her, with me or anything, but I'm telling you, her light, I see auras. So her light, it filled the room. It filled the room. And this is no exaggeration. Honestly, that woman, her heart at that conference was so open that the love that I felt, I just stood there in the presence and just let her chat. And it was just 2 minutes. And then it was totally, that's all that it was. It was that beautiful connection in the love and the truth of who she is. And so I wanted to share that. And Bill, it was about the week before that, a whole transformation. You did a service, a Friday service just like this. And boy, you opened my heart. And it was about a week or so before the conference also. And my gosh, I connected into your light that day. So big. So it was just that, the moment that I said yes. So, you know, I've done lots of modalities in my life on this journey, but A Course in Miracles really was a pivotal move for me in finding my way home to the truth of who I am, which is just love. So anyways, I bless every single one of you that is on this call today. And my heart is just in gratitude to everyone. Thank you.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Karen. That was amazing. I had chills the entire time you were talking. And it's funny that you told that story at the end when you said, oh, one more thing, because I actually was going to come on and share that, because I get chills right now. I remember you writing to me. I remember the entire private conversation of you wanting to come and the hurdles you had to get through. And I remember I posted something, and within minutes you had a roommate, or you had, like, it all worked out. Like, you basically put a parameter on it, like, I'll only come if. And then you said, yes, I'm coming. And then I totally just, didn't follow your coming. And then I remember that you wrote me afterwards, and you said, I don't even think you know who I was. You said, I came all the way there just to say hi. And I don't even think you know who I was. But you said, my life has changed so much just from saying yes. And you acknowledged, like, that you didn't even need me to know. You said, I thought I was coming for you and Bill. And I realized that it was just in the saying yes that something totally new opened up. And I also just want to say that Bill told me yesterday over dinner that you had written to him and had a moment of saying, I don't know if I want to do this today. That you said, I'm doing it. Like, I was so proud of you, and I'm so happy, because this is the place where I know he told me at dinner last night about you. We talked about you. But this is where it is scary land central to come out of hiding. And Jesus says, A Course in Miracles, sickness is isolation. were hiding in the body,
Mhm.
and to just come out, just a moment to come out, and it doesn't have to be on a video. It just has to be we're joining with another. So when you wrote me that email that day, private message, I didn't have to see a video of you, and you stepped out of your comfort zone and said yes. Like you mentioned it so many times in your talk, it's just like, yes, I would like to just emerge out of this hiding spot. So I also want to tell you too, I am also a collector of rocks. I love your rocks. I collect rocks that have unbroken circles on them. And this one has many. I have many, many. We call them, when I was a kid, we call them wishing rocks.
Oh.
And it's when you find a rock, so many people want to go find treasures like a sand dollar, but this is just a rock, and it's got tons of, and when we were kids, we were told that if you found one of these, and they're everywhere, they're not special or anything, and you throw them back in the water and you make a wish, you'll get what you wish for. So it just reminds me of playfulness, like collecting these rocks. But anyways, love your rock story. Those are good ones. So thank you so much for showing up the way you do, just authentically and joyfully and in your fear. I love that you showed up in your fear and you just did it. And thank you.
Yeah, that was a beautiful sharing. I would not have wanted to miss it.
Mhm.
I wouldn't have, I mean, because it connects us with your present energy. It connects us with the Christ that we are as Karen, and the Christ that we are as Myra, and the Christ that we are as Oliver Blue. Next month is Oliver Blue, and whomever, and we'll have someone else. But this is where the connection happens, and this is the pull that Lisa and I have had from the start, from the very beginning of the Teachers of God Foundation. That's why it's called Teachers of God Foundation. It's Teachers of God. It's all of us. There's not one of us that's is a higher, more advanced, more evolved being. Some of us have amazing glowing gifts, as everyone speaks of Lisa. That's true. There's no doubt about that. But we all are teachers of God and have this expression of Christ's presence that we are. And I want to say that the person that inspired me, and I would think also Lisa, the most on stepping, giving space for other teachers, for other expressions of the truth of what we are. He's online with us right now, David Fishman. David, I want you to stand up and say hello to everyone. I saw you a few minutes ago. I want you to say hello, because you have been an important part of the growth of my growth. You gave me a spot on your ACIM Gather radio show when I had only been reading the course for about 4 months. I said, I can't do that. I haven't even finished the course yet. And you, David, said, you're a teacher of God. I said, I'm not a teacher of God. You have to finish the workbook lessons first. And this was like 12 years ago, in 2007.
Mhm.
And I have to say, you opened up the door for me. And Lisa was on that same ACIM Gather. And it's so funny, Myra, you mentioned the oops. Lisa is where I first heard the oops. She would say, if you make a mistake, don't beat yourself up over it. Don't make yourself guilty. Oops, that just happened. I made a mistake, and go past it. That made it feel so much more reasonable. It made it feel, the forgiveness part, when you can just say oops. And I mean, that takes the energy of guilt and self debasement and self sabotage. It takes it off of it. It just makes it so much more gentle. Oops, that just happened. And so I want to thank Lisa. Actually, that I got that from you, and so many things. I really appreciate, Karen, how you express that, and other people on the chat board, we're getting so many, you get little nuggets of gold, beautiful nuggets of gold that we can we'll remember, and it'll come in right at the right moment, because Christ is present in each and every one of us, imbuing those little nuggets of gold with the ones that will use it when they most need it. So before we move on
I want to just say thank you to David Fishman too. And I'm so grateful, Bill, that you did a shout out for him. I'm looking right at you, David. And I didn't realize you were on the video until Bill just shouted you out. And you're the celebrity in the house in my mind. And I'm the same. Like in 2005, I was not teaching. Just like Bill, did not consider myself a teacher of God. I did not consider myself a teacher of A Course in Miracles. I had the book, I was blogging about it, and you just were relentless. I just kept saying, no, I'm not teaching. And you're like, Lisa, look, you just have to get on and you have to teach what you need to learn. I'm like, no way, no way. And you just were like, yep, the space is open for you. Just come on. And I remember every Sunday when I taught, I was like, oh my God, that was a disaster. But you kept encouraging me to come on and just teach. And you were also the person who gave me my very, very, very first spot teaching at the Course in Miracle conference when you and Regina Dawn Akers, she was taking her own spot.
That's true.
And you brought me in, and that's how I got in. I had never been offered a spot in those conferences. And so I want to just thank you with all my heart. And I want everyone here to really use this as a demonstration of how we can uplift another. How Jesus says in A Course in Miracles that charity is where you see your brother further along than he thinks he is. And this is another ability we have. It's a gift that we have to give to our brother what our brother doesn't know for himself. And so I just want to say thank you, David, for pushing me out of my comfort zone when I did not want to go, and for you constantly just being out there. So thank you, Bill, for that shout out.
Yeah.
David, do you want to say anything?
David, we have you pinned on the page for everyone, so everyone is you're front and center for all of us. And I just want to say thank you. And if you have anything to share with any of these other teachers that are right here, there's about 80 of us. Please unmute your mic and give us some of your wisdom.
He says no. Well, oh, look who's saying no now. Oh, you do want to say something. Okay, good. You're
Okay.
on.
Good. Oh, wait a minute. We need you to unmute your mic. Where are you at?
It's unmuted.
It's unmuted. I can't hear you though.
Oh, muted again.
There we go.
Okay, thank you.
There you are.
Yep.
All right, thank you so much, Bill. Thank you so much, Lisa. I think the one word that comes to me when I hear anybody, and especially I came on to hear Karen, I kind of missed Myra. It's really about allowing yourself to step back and allow him to speak to you and through you. And there's one word that handles that, and that's trust. Notice that trust is the first of the 10 characteristics of God's teachers. And trust is I have an acronym for trust, TRUST, to rely upon spirit totally. And the truth is that when we step back and allow spirit to speak to us, we experience that every word is given to us. And as much as I love your two examples about the white rock and the other rock, the veil, etc., it's nice to have things like that to hold in your hand to remember. But as you develop trust, you realize that you really don't have to know anything at all. And he tells you that, especially in that italics on page 28 of the text, I'm here only to be truly helpful, which is true for everyone here. I do not have to know what to say or what to do. He who sent me will give me what to say and what to do. Now, the benefit of all that, the benefit is that you begin to experience that everything is given to you, that you are perfectly cared for always. We're all perfectly cared for always. We don't know that because, yes, we do live in that circle of fear. Circle of fear is, well, my God, they're going to know when I don't know anything. The truth is we don't know anything. That's my mantra lesson 25. I do not know what anything is for. So by starting by I do not know, but let me step back and invite someone who is given to me by my creator to give me what it is to say and what it is to do, I begin to realize that I am perfectly cared for in everything. So, there's a line, the course, chapter 26, section 8, I think it is. It says, trust would settle every problem now. Can you imagine that? Trust would settle every, because we don't really have any problems. The fearful mind makes the problems up. Well, I'm not there yet. I haven't studied the course long enough. And actually, we all know at this point, there's nothing to do about studying the course. It's your willingness to say, I do not know. Let me step back and let spirit speak to me and through me. When I say spirit, spirit is not separate from me. I am spirit. I am spirit. So I'm really allowing what I truly am, that white rock, to speak to me and through me. That's what I am. Thank you so much for letting me talk. Thank you so much, Bill. Thank you. I thank Lynn Johnson, who actually is the one that pipes it into ACIM gathering. Yes, we do listen to you every single Friday morning. That is so true. Thank you so much.
Nice. Very nice. Thank you, David. You are awesome, and a legacy for as an example to others and for us. You helped to create the model that we found ourselves being inspired to do. This is it came from ideas that were expressed and brought through your own demonstration. So thank you for that. You've had a big impact on the experience that many of us have in the Teachers of God Foundation. And so what we're going to do now, before we move on, I just want everyone to do equally what we did with Myra, and just give a warm gratitude to Karen for her expression today. I'm going to unmute
And
everyone.
nice of you too.
Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome.
Lord,
Thank you so much.
So much. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Good, wrapping up now.
Thank you. Yeah, that's kind of, I know that's kind of loud in your ears if you got your earbuds on, but I think it's worth it, because it just lets our brother and our sister know that they're appreciated. And I remember when because I suddenly was put in a position where I was asked to be director of sacred service at the Unity Church that we usually live stream from. And I'd been a builder for 30 plus years. I wasn't used to standing up in public and putting a mic in my hand. And all of a sudden I was doing that. And the minister that I was platforming for said, how you doing, Bill? And I said, well, I'm pretty nervous. He said, let me just give you a little bit of advice before you go out there. There was about 200 people out there in the audience. He said, everybody out there loves you. They are your family. Your family is out there. And for all of you that are right here, I'm saying that to you. I'm just transmitting that from Ed Townley through Bill to you. Your family's out there, and your family loves you. We all love each and every one of you. And we look forward to you stepping out there and expressing in whatever that voice is, whatever it has to say. And if it's scared, so be it. If it's just bold and audacious, so be it. You are what God is, and you're an expression, no matter what that is. You are the representation and the energy and the presence of what I am. And I want to hear what I'm saying over there. I want to hear what I'm expressing as, and how that feels and looks is going to be different, but it's all the same, because it's all coming from the same place. Our perfect oneness and the truth of what we are is the standing in the presence as awareness itself. This is why awareness is such a big thing for me. It's because I know that awareness is where we're all equals. The awareness of love's presence has no degrees. It's timeless. And all of us have it. It's where we're exactly all the same. It's the presence of God that is expressing itself through this host that has a body name attached to it. But the truth is that the timeless, changeless, infinite presence is what we are in all things, and we never die. That lives on beyond this body's experience. And if it reincarnates, so be it. If it doesn't, so be it. It doesn't matter, because one of the cool things that I know to be true, and I like rocks myself. I can't see any rocks that are here to share with you, but rocks are also what we are. We are also rocks. And those rocks have an energy, a vibration, because they are also God. And if you want to connect with the essence of your being, find a rock like you saw, like find a seashell, find an object, find a stone or a branch, find something that pulls you to it and have a conversation with it. Now, you probably don't want to do that with too many people watching, because they might lock you up and think, oh, they're talking to rocks and branches and trees and stuff. But the truth is that energy is not separate from you. And Jesus said in the New Testament, if he didn't speak up, the rocks would cry out. That's a true statement. We are beings, pure presence, and nothing is separate from what this is, the essence of what this is. And we all have that expression that's available. We all have something to share and something to say. And I am grateful for each one of you that would be here to share with us what wants to be expressed through your voice and the love that you are. Thank you so much, Myra. Thank you, Karen, for what you had to share today. Thank you, Dove. Thank you, Babe. I just love hearing you. I still do. Before I met Lisa in person, I used to listen to her on the radio going, wow, that girl, she's hot. She's got something to say there. I didn't even meet her yet. I emailed a friend of mine, Regina Dawn Akers, and I said, wow, this Lisa Natoli, she's really good. And two years later, I was meeting her, and then a few years later from that, we were getting married. So you never know what's going to happen.
You put a ring on it.
That's right. Put a ring on it. So we have a few minutes left, and there's a hand up. Michelle Olson, was that a mistake and you can't put your hand down? It's been up for a while. Do you have something you want to say? You want to unmute your mic and speak to us, or is that a hand up that's a mistake? Can't put, I can put your hand down if it's a mistake. Okay, does anyone have anything they would like to share? We have about 7 minutes left before we close today's open mic. We'd love to hear from you if you have something to say.
I want to thank you also for all these awesome comments. I'm reading them all. Just so much gratitude. And this is what Jesus says in the Course in Miracles. It's just like gratitude is the way. It's the love we walk in. And so I just thank you for expressing it.
Good.
Who's got a hand up? Just put
Michelle does. Michelle, go ahead, unmute your mic. And I'm wondering, are you drawing something over there?
Taking
Love
some
and fear,
notes.
the circles.
Yeah, taking some notes, right?
Yes. Good.
This is my very, very first call on and I just signed up for the October 1st to be with you, Lisa, and go through. So I just feel like I've really, really been asking for a way and my first steps towards my real true purpose. I've always felt like I was a leader, a cheerleader. I always support people. I've always been a helper. I've always kept my family together. I was always the one, holding both the hands between my parents. I've always felt like that pull, that tug to guide and help people. And I just been looking all my life for that real reason and that real purpose. And I think I know that this is definitely my first real step towards that. So I so appreciate you guys, and I am so excited to be with you. And oh my gosh, everybody who presented today was so insightful. Thank you so much. I was very, very just kind of blown away, as this is my very first call. I'm like, gosh, I've been missing out all these years. So thank you so much for what you're doing. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so happy to see you, Michelle, and I'm so happy that you signed up for the 40-day program. And get chills again. Like what you just said, I so resonate with, and I know a lot of people in this room and around the world. This idea of having a call in our heart to be a cheerleader, a helper, the one that's, just wants a purpose. But the problem here that we do is that we do all those things out of alignment from the disconnect. And that's why we get tired. And that's why we get all pissed off that people aren't like giving back our generosity. They're not acknowledging us. So the first step in the transformation, it's the whole step, is to get plugged in. Like we have to connect with our source and with ourself. And we have to forget the world for a while. We have to forget about being a cheerleader and forget about fixing the world and changing things. Or
yeah,
we have to experience that connection. And from the connection, when you're plugged in, all your abilities and gifts start getting used. And from the alignment from the centered place, you're a bigger cheerleader, you're a bigger helper, but it's not you, the personality, it's this light that we're not blocking it anymore with our fear. So it's just flowing. So you're going to love the 40-day program.
Yes,
And
thank you so much.
use the board in there to show up and be available, to show yourself. It's a great community in there.
I can't wait. I'm very excited. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for raising your hand and for speaking up. And really, I just love how this Zoom environment allows us to do this, to widen our community. We have someone who just mentioned in the chat board that she's from South Africa. Welcome. And welcome Europe and all of the United States. And for all of you that join us here today, our open mic is the fourth Friday of the month. And we have one more hand up. Elizabeth Cameron, I'm going to go ahead and unmute your mic, and you will be our last guest speaker this morning. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I'm just going to bear in mind how little time there is to do this. I'm calling from England. What I want to say is that I've now done the 40-day program 3 times. And the reason I'm saying that is because I don't want that to sound like a failure from your part, because each and every time I've listened to it, it's given me another level of awareness. I'm sitting down now, having finally bought the blue book and a companion to go with it, and I still have questions. And what that 40-day course gave to me literally turned my life around. I did that course because somebody put me onto it after I'd lost my job in a really unfair way. And I had just bought a house. I thought I was going to lose the house. I had suddenly went from no income. I'd cashed in my insurance policy to pay for the house. I'd rested everything on the hope of this home. And then I lost my job. And I did such a job on myself that everything I could remember I've ever not done right in my life, every relationship, every problem that happened in childhood, they all crept in on me. I was near suicidal at the time when I started that 40-day program. And what I did through that first time of the program was unpack all of those aspects of myself that really make you look to blame yourself. That stuff that happens that says you are so imperfect, you must blame yourself. I mean, there's a problem with that, isn't there? There's got to be, the God loves us. That much I do understand. And And that's the overriding thing. And this criticism that we're doing is so worldly, it's so measured by this person says this about me. I mean, I looked at the relationships I had. I was suspicious of almost everybody. And through the program, I made miracles happen. I literally tested it and thought, this can't work. There were people who I didn't want to talk to, didn't feel like I could approach, was very sure that I knew what conversations were going on outside of my earshot, the things they are saying about me, that sort of thing. And I just tested it. I just did that thing which said, just go. Just make the miracle happen. Do a vertical shift. Just go right for it and just suddenly say hello to this person and send them love. And I didn't feel it. I didn't have any inclination to it. I was still full of suspicion, but I did it in the name of that 40-day program and what it was teaching me, and it revolutionized my life. And when I saw that, I saw the promises, the message that there was to give. I have had so much from that. I have been brought to tears. I have resurrected myself. I have crumbled again. I have lifted myself up again. And I just simply cannot thank you enough for what that is. I can't stop telling people about it. I send the little I have to support your ministry because I just couldn't bear the fact that you weren't there, because I know what it meant to me. So it's wonderful what you do in that explanation, Lisa, but also I've avidly followed you both afterwards and the Friday sessions. It's mid-afternoon here now in England. And, you know, I've just kept abreast of what you're doing, and I will always support you around the world. So thank you.
Wow, Elizabeth,
Wow.
with all my heart, thank you so much. And you know, you just touched on something that I talk about in the 40-day program, but which people tend to forget. This is a dismantling. So we say yes to love, yes to purpose, yes to life, yes to aliveness, yes to abundance, yes to health. So it's a whole new state of being, different than the one where we gave the yes. We give the yes in sorrow, suffering, pain, confusion. So where we give the yes, that space has to go. So when we say yes to transformation, we don't expect that. We just think it's going to be all like, oh, somebody's going to give me money and there'll be the great relationship and I'll get the promotion at work. We don't know that when we say yes to a new state of being, the old state of being goes away. So we lose our jobs sometimes. All the fear we buried comes up to be seen and corrected with the truth. So that's why I'm so happy that you came on and expressed all this, because this is the place where most people bail. Right when things start getting scary and the fear's coming up, they think I must be doing it wrong because I asked for love and I'm in more fear than ever. And you have to have that initial, that's why I have everyone write that 40-day letter, that 40-day commitment. No matter what happens, you're gonna finish this program. So I want you to write to me also. I have a gift for you. So I want you to write me at lisa@lisanatoli.com. I just so grateful for you standing in the fear and allowing yourself to see you're a healer and a miracle worker and a light worker, as all of us are. And so thank you. Yay.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you, Lisa, for those words of wisdom. And there's much love and gratitude on the chat board. And I am putting a donate button on the chat board. If any of you would like to support the foundation and the work that we do, you can click on that and make a donation online. And I'm going to just kind of close us in prayer right now, just allowing all of us to just be aware of being aware. Just be aware of being aware and come into this natural state of being. It's that simple. It's just being aware of the experience that is occurring. And now we're in the state of perfect love, perfect oneness. The awareness of experience is the awareness of love's presence. And just rest right here with me for a moment, because it's this easy to shift into the state of our being. And if you feel what happens to me when I put the hand on the heart, it just feels like, I don't know, it's physical, but it feels like it brings it closer, more intimate. And I want to bless each one of you with the love of God, and we can each bless each other. The Course teaches us that that one of the gifts that we have is to bless each other in the love that we are. And when we bless another, we can only be blessing ourselves at the same time. So it's a kind of a selfish thing, but it totally fits, because we are the oneness of God's presence, and love is what we are. Love is what you are. And so I and Lisa, the Teachers of God Foundation, and all of the beings that are here, and all of them that will ever come, give you the love and the blessings and the light that you are. We just give it right back to you. And in gratitude, we say thank you. Thank you for being with us and joining us here. And we'll see you next week at teachersofgod.org. We'll see you at the Friday group.
I'm
And
teaching.
Lisa's teaching.
Don't be
So
late.
Don't be late.
Next Friday. If anybody wants to catch a plane, there's a hotel right nearby, Amesbury, Massachusetts. Fly right into Boston.
Yeah.
I'll see you there.
And also,
I'll make raw cookies.
she makes raw cookies. You don't want to miss those.
Don't want to miss the raw cookies.
If you want to show up here as a guest teacher, write to info@teachersofgod.org, and we'll get you put in the queue. We only take 2 people, so we have 1 opening for November. And if you want to get in, but you can also raise your hand, and you can definitely share your heart, like Cameron did. Thank you. So like Elizabeth Cameron did. Thank you, Elizabeth. Welcome and we're happy you came over from the UK to visit with us today.
And Michelle.
And Michelle, yes. Thank you,
Everyone else
Michelle.
being here.
Awesome. All right, we'll see you all next week. Thank you for being with us. Bye-bye.
Love you.